So, we are going to talk about a mysterious iOS exploit, which is a one click exploit called Coruna. It's not the Corona, it's Coruna. So, GTIG, that is Google Threat Intelligence Group, has identified a new powerful exploit targeting iPhones running on iOS 13 from September 2019 to December 2023 with iOS version 17.2.1. And they have a exploit which has been named as coruna, which is developed from a full iOS exploit chain with almost 23 exploits. So in this video we are going to take a look at the exploit and how it actually works and everything that you need to know about the exploit. Now, the exploit over the course of 2025, GTIG has tracked down a highly sophisticated surveillance vendor, then observed and developed a exploit. Over the course of 2025, GTIG targeted and tracked a highly sophisticated surveillance exploit which was developed in water holing attacks targeting users by UNC 6353, which is a Russian group, and a broad scale campaign called UNC 6691, a financially motivated threat by which is operated by so-called China. Now, this is a zero-day exploit which has a full chain and it is a one-click exploit. So let's take a look at the same. So the exploit was actually developed and discovered in 2024, and the name of the exploit was Apple's. So the exploit was actually discovered and patched in 2024, and there was a CV given called CV 2024-23-222. Now this exploit was targeting Apple's iOS 17.3 and the patch was already released. Later in February 2025, GTIG collected the deliverable frameworks and the patch system of the exploit, which in July 2025, GTIG collects a few more Safari RC, that is remote code execution exploits, such as CV 2023-43000. So these exploits were actually discovered, and in early February 2025, they captured iOS exploit chain used by customers of a surveillance company. The exploit were integrated into a previously unseen JavaScript framework that used simple but unique JavaScripts for the technique. The framework starts a fingerprinting module collecting variety of data points like the iPhone model and the iOS software that they are running. Based on the collection, it loads the appropriate webkit. So for example, for iOS 17.2.1, it loads a different exploit JavaScript which actually uses RCE exploit, which is a remote code execution, followed by a pointer authentication code, pack bypass, as seen below. At the time, we at the time, GITG actually discovered a WebKit RCE delivered to the device using a Safari browser. Now, they identified the zero day and addressed it back to Apple in January 2024 in iOS 17.3, which was actually patched, but the RCE was still available. Now, in summer 2025, they actually noticed that the same JavaScript framework was hosted on multiple government backed websites, and they compromised Ukrainian websites ranging from industrial equipments and retailing tools to a local service and e-commerce websites as well. The framework was identical and delivered to the same set of exploits that the WebKit RCE actually used in CV 2024-23222, CV 2022-48503, and CV 2023-43000. It was actually a full chain collection, and these actually targeted a set of Chinese websites mostly related to financial websites and e commerce websites. If we talk about the initial commercial pipeline, it started with the initial commercial surveillance vendors and for their clients. Then it was taken over with state actors developed by Russian groups, and later on moved to the Chinese financial websites and e-commerce websites. Upon accessing these websites, an iOS device, and regardless of the geolocation, a hidden iframe is actually injected, delivering the exploit kit to multiple devices. There are a list of details, and in the description, we have a complete detail of the exploit chain and also the JavaScript code. The Corona's exploit kit, the framework actually is extremely well engineered. The exploit piece are all connected naturally and combined together to use a common utility and exploitation framework, bailing out if the device is in lockdown mode or in a private browser. Now let's talk about the one-click trap. The website actually uses a iframe which loads the JavaScript hidden inside the iframe of the website, and later on uses RCE and pack bypass to deliver unencrypted data. The kit contains a binary loader to load the appropriate exploit chain RCE within WebKit in case the binary payload loads. Now let's talk about the exploit and their code names. The initial iOS 13 to 15.1.1, which was fixed in iOS 15.2, was called Buffalout, whereas the latest one, which targeted iOS 17.2.1, which is not yet disclosed by Apple to be patched, was a web content pack bypass, which was named Seedbell 17. Now, there are a lot of details that you can find on the official blog of GTIG, which is available in the description. The same pack was bypassing a kernel based mitigation and a kernel mode pack. If we talk about the exploit, it started in three phases. The first phase was to exploit and bypass using the pack bypass and work around with the kernel, and later on bypass the sandboxing and the browsing. So it actually started from the Safari and then went into exploiting the sandbox. So how did it all started? It loads a iframe in the WebKit, that is the browser engine inside Safari, which creates a memory corruption, and the result is attacker can actually read write anything in the memory. This allows attacker to add in some JavaScripts and read or write things in the memory. The second stage moves towards the sandbox. Now, the Safari browser has its own sandbox, and pack bypass or pointer authentication code bypass is used. The result is the malware is actually leaving the browser and the sandbox browser. Then comes the third stage, that is, after removing the browser, the attacker actually targets the kernel, which is the system core, and it uses local privilege escalation, that is LPE, and uses and writes itself in the privilege escalation and in the kernel, which basically makes it a god mode system privileges, and it can do a lot of things. Now, why this attack is special? Because the attack actually runs in plain sight, and the infection is actually web based. So, even if you use a Safari browser, even though the CVE is already registered and the details are patched, still people are using old versions of browser. And since the attack actually works in plain sight, that is in normal websites, it injects into processes